New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution.
It is Friday, January the 23rd, and now the good news. I'm Barbara Jean, your host, and I am so excited to be here with you tonight. As always, we've got some great stories lined up, and a lot of those we get from the Good News Network. Yeah. We also get some from Sunny Skies. So let's begin. Here at home where I am, a Toronto man tries to make public transportation less lonely. Little gestures can change the whole mood. So in Toronto, one man and his glasses are making the city a friendlier place by wishing people a great week, or even just outrightly declaring to whoever he sees that they make the world a better place. Yeah, I like that. So Min Jae Cho is once just like the thousands of other Torontonians. He took the bus and the subway, went to work, and was lonely. Now he's one in a million, a full-time influencer who's received praise from the mayor, the head of the Toronto Transportation Corporation, and has 36,000 Instagram followers. His methods are simple: being courageous in his kindness, wishing people well, spreading amiability, and brightening up Toronto one bus ride at a time. It started at a time when I was in a lonely, disconnected part of my life where I wasn't seeing that many people. I wanted to push myself to show up more openly in everyday life with social interactions and to rebuild my social confidence. What I'm doing is harmless. I'm just saying, have a nice day. I'm not pranking people. Most people see my effort and my courage and respond positively. He captures all his interactions with meta glasses, less intrusive than a phone camera, which often end in smiles, laughs, even hugs, even tears. He's been told his outreach has helped people get through tough times or even avoid making life-changing decisions for the worse. The TTC drivers recognize him and are happy to have him on board. Everyone could use a little more joy in their life, including on their commute. And these posts certainly convey that sentiment. The videos on his Instagram account under the handle Magnetic MJ are introspectively interesting. You can clearly see the tension at times in the air when Cho is wishing someone a good day, who seems reluctant to look up from their phone and acknowledge his existence. You almost feel relieved when they do look up, shake his hand, and smile. And you get the feeling that if every person were watching a video of Cho talking to someone else, they'd get the same feeling. Mayor Olivia Chow felt that Cho is doing the work of thousands, saying when asked about his videos that if everyone did what he does to just one person on one bus ride once a week, the city would feel a lot more like a neighborhood. Way to go. Good job. I love that. I love that when somebody takes the time to just just say a kind word. Doesn't cost us anything. I love that so much. All right. Well, moving across a bigger pond, Iraq is unrecognizable and remarkable. After decades of conflict, the UN coordinator shows why. Iraq is steaming forward with its development after years of strife and war. Just recently, the long-running UN assistance mission for Iraq ended its mandate after 22 years, and the UN's humanitarian coordinator for the country told journalists that the country has transformed itself. For those who lived through the troubled early years of the transition, today Iraq is unrecognizable and remarkable. The coordinator, Ghulam Izakzeh, said in New York City, Even before the American invasion and occupation, the subsequent chaos of the insurgent resistance and the pillaging of ISIS, the Iraqi people, had suffered a decade of crippling sanctions. Before that, Saddam Hussein's decision to invade neighboring Kuwait over a slant drilling violation saw the country endure wartime conditions again, having them only lately ended after a debilitating 8 years of the Iran Iraq War, which started a decade before the sanctions. It's fair enough to say that few alive today will remember a time when Iraq was prosperous and at peace. Now, the nation's poverty rate has fallen around 3% in the last 7 years, while more than 5 million internal refugees have returned to their homes now that security in most of the country has stabilized. Iraq has enjoyed an upward trajectory on the UN's Human Development Index, and in 2023 had scored a 6.95 out of 10, with a 72-year life expectancy at birth and 12 expected years of schooling per child. Recent elections saw voter turnout reach 56%, and one-third of the parliamentary candidates were women. Yeah, you go, ladies. Perhaps the most symbolically impressive of all these improvements is the sheer fact that as the UN assistance mission evolved into a 5-year UN development project partnership, Iraq will be the donor rather than the aid recipient. That shows increasing partnership and ownership by the government of Iraq to become a donor after being a recipient for many years of humanitarian and development aid. That is good news all around for everyone on this beautiful planet. Well, on that note, we're going to take a short little break and then we'll be right back with more good news. Don't go away. Oh, caught me. Going for a tissue. We're having some kind of little tech difficulty. So and we're back. Don't you love technology? I love it. Sometimes things, work easily, and sometimes we get little glitches. And you know what? We just got to go with the flow. All right. So, moving right along with the good news, a missing 66-year-old hiker is found. And even after a 2-week search, was called off in New Zealand. So, 66-year-old man who'd been missing in the rugged backcountry of New Zealand for over 2 weeks has now been found, even though rescue officials called off the search 3 days ago. Graham Garnett was discovered alive yesterday, sheltering in a hut in the Kahurangi National Park by a crew of contractors who were working in the area. He'd gone hiking in the Baden River area of the park and did not return as expected on December 30th. An operation got underway involving Land Search and Rescue New Zealand and specialist teams from the New Zealand Defence Force, the Rescue Coordination Centre, with many volunteers and supporters, but no progress was made. On January 15th, the operation team made the difficult decision to call off the search until at least any new information might come to light. So this is an amazing result, said a statement by the Nelson Marlborough West Coast Police. We are so pleased for Graham and his loved ones. The Kahurangi National Park on the South Island of New Zealand covers 2,005 square miles of mountains, rivers, and gorges. Rescuers took Mr. Garnett to Nelson Hospital, where he was reunited with his family. Obviously, he's been through quite an ordeal, and everyone involved in the search is delighted to hear that he's been found alive. So many more years of hiking to come, Graham. So that's super good news. Okay, well, Buddhist monks on a peace walk receive a new escort vehicle following a near fatal crash. A Texas small business owner donated a new car to a group of Buddhist monks crossing America on foot after their previous vehicle was destroyed in a collision. In October, almost 20 Buddhist monks set out from Fort Worth on a 2,300-mile walk toward Washington, D.C., with the goal of promoting unity and compassion. In October, excuse me, I already read that. They were being followed by an escort vehicle carrying donated supplies, but in the following month, the car and several of the monks were victims in a serious collision that left the former totaled and four of the latter hospitalized. A roofing company owner in Dayton, Texas, excuse me, where the incident occurred, saw the news and felt compelled to help. I saw that and I was like, no, they need some help. We got to help them. They're walking for us. Why can't we, put something out for them as well? Duran outfitted a fully insured Toyota RAV4 with new tires and extra safety lights, while also going the extra mile to change the oil and fill up the tank before offering it to the monks in an act that he himself might not have known is called dana in the Buddhist tradition. Dana, meaning charity in Pali, the ancient Indian language the Buddha's teachings were written in, is the act of laymen and laywomen going out of their way to offer food, clothing, shelter, or medicine to those living the holy life. There are two interpretations of Dana's importance. The first is that it affects karma, a sort of moral destiny that sees those who are compassionate and charitable in life be rewarded with a higher birth, in the realm of men or gods, and in the next life, and those who are wicked to be rewarded with a birth in the lower realms of animals, hungry ghosts, and hells. Another more recent interpretation of dana is that it fills the mind space, occupying it in lieu of covetous thoughts that arise from attachments. Whether Duran knew any of this before he performed his substantial act of dana is anyone's guess, but in doing so, he embodied one of a Buddhist's greatest teachings. The Buddha nature lies in anyone, and that anyone can unlock it and become a Buddha in subsequent lives. How sweet was that to stand up and help out? I love that, walking 2,300 miles for peace and unity and compassion. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Well, teachers sometimes don't get the little pat on the back that they need, but boy, did this teacher get it. So, a high school class in Charlotte, North Carolina, brought their teacher to tears with a small but thoughtful gift. One of the students filmed the moment and it went viral, but there's one more surprise no one saw coming. Student in Jeff Swaisgood's senior English class at Providence High School secretly came together to do something special for him. Pooling their own money, the class bought Swaisgood a new pair of plaid Vans, his favorite shoe brand, and presented them to him during class. A student captured the moment in a video shared on TikTok where Swicegood can be seen staring at the bag in disbelief, wiping away tears and sitting down to collect himself. The clip quickly went viral, racking up more than 11 million views and 2.5 million likes. It caught me by surprise and it blew me away, said Swicegood 42. It was just like, wow, someone thought of me. The moment carried extra meaning for Swicegood, who has faced a difficult few years. He recently lost his mother, Margaret, to metastatic breast cancer after caring for her during the 9 weeks between her diagnosis and passing. He also lost his father to cancer when he was 8 years old. The viral moment even caught the attention of Vans itself. The company commented on the video, calling it unbelievably precious, and then surprised the students by giving the group of seniors a shopping spree, including gift cards, so they could each pick out their own pair of Vans. And I don't know if we have that little video. I didn't ask for it, so probably not. But go on TikTok, and I'm sure you can find it. All right, our next story. I just want to share my happiness. A lottery winner spends $20,000 on groceries for strangers. That is a beautiful thing. After becoming a multimillionaire overnight, an Ottawa woman, not far from where I live, is now making sure struggling families can afford groceries. Patricia Patty Warden knows how hard things are right now. Grocery prices keep rising, and for many families, even a simple holiday meal feels out of reach. The hardest thing right now, just the bills. It's the cost of groceries. I'm in a position to give back, she said. So she walked into a Greenleaf food van and began quietly handing out gift cards to shoppers, hundreds of them. Many were stunned when they realized a stranger had just paid for part of their groceries. By the end of the afternoon, Warden estimates she had given away more than $20,000 in grocery gift cards. Warden won the $70 million Lotto Max jackpot in May of 2024, but she said the biggest change isn't what she can buy, it's how many people she can help. I get to help a lot more people, which was my goal. It's a life changing thing in that way, but I'm still Patty. That will never change. Her generosity comes from a deeply personal place. Before winning the lottery, Warden experienced years of trauma, illness, addiction, and homelessness. At one point, she was sleeping on park benches while struggling to survive. I owe everything to my mom, she said. She helped me rebuild my life with integrity, caring, and respect for others. You can't put a price on that. $70 million is nothing compared to those values. Warden has now been sober for 30 years, and she says giving back is one of the greatest joys of her life. I just want to share my happiness. Oh, don't you love that? There are so many good people in our world. I think that is truly, truly tremendous. So more often, we talk of people's greed, but there was sincere generosity. Okay, moving along, a Navy rescue swimmer saves a woman seconds before her SUV sinks. A simple lunch outing turned into a life saving moment in Virginia Beach, thanks to quick thinking Good Samaritans and a Navy rescue swimmer who happened to be in the right place at the right time. Jeremy Way was dining at Bubba's on Shore Drive on Friday afternoon when he heard a loud crash. Sitting here having lunch, and there's this large splash against the windows that was way higher than it should have been. A car had driven off the boat ramp and into the water. After confirming there was someone inside the sinking vehicle, this man sprang into action. I knew it was going to be cold. I think the temperature outside was 29 degrees at the time, he said. I just dove right in. When Way reached the driver, he realized the situation was even more dire. Trapped inside the vehicle, the woman was visibly distressed and initially refused to unlock the doors. As water poured into the SUV and time ran out, Way continued encouraging her while others fought to break the glass. Eventually, as the vehicle slipped completely underwater, the group managed to free her just in time. The car was completely underwater, Way said. She finally came out, and I did what I've always been taught, rescue swimmer techniques, and swam her towards safety. Everyone involved in the rescue made it out of the water safely. The driver and two Good Samaritans were taken to a hospital with injuries that were not considered serious, according to the police. Way believes there was a deeper reason he happened to be there that day. I came out to get some lunch. I'm an aviation rescue swimmer. I was here for a reason. So others may live. It's our motto. Ah, that's beautiful. And I agree. There are no mistakes or accidents in the universe. Everything happens for a reason, and we're always in the right place. We don't always recognize it, though. So beautiful. All right, something for public domain. Franz Kafka, Nancy Drew, and Charlie Parker become free to use. Happy Public Domain Day. Don't you just love it when you can access stuff that maybe before was out of reach? So January 1st isn't just New Year's Day. There's another little holiday wrapped up inside. It's Public Domain Day, the moment when a year's worth of literature, music, film, television, pop culture, poetry, and science enters the public domain and becomes free to use, reprint, and alter. According to standard ebooks, the public domain concept stretches back to the founding of our country, with the framers desiring a loose and restricted intellectual property law in order to promote the advance of sciences and the arts. As the United States began its march through the centuries, the period of intellectual copyright was elongated continuously through lobbying of businesses looking to use the levers of power to stifle competition and thus innovation. This process continued until it took 95 years for material to enter the public domain. 2019 was the year in which new works were finally scheduled to enter the public domain. And as that year drew closer, it became clear that these corporations wouldn't try to extend copyright yet again, making it the first year in almost 100 years in which a significant amount of art and literature once again entered the US public domain. This year, it means anything published in 1930 will enter the public domain, which includes books by Franz Kafka, Langston Hughes, Jim Corbett, and Agatha Christie. It includes works like As I Lay Dying, How to Make Friends and Influence People, Vile Bodies, Ash Wednesday, and 4 new Nancy Drew entries. They're all available for free on standard ebooks. Beyond literature, according to the Public Domain Review, the papers of Albert Einstein, the 1930 film All Quiet on the Western Front, the discography of Charlie Parker, images and reproductions of works by the artist Barbara Hepworth, and the photographs of journalist Walker Evans will all enter the public domain. So get on your devices and download those ebooks and enjoy all this rich, rich art that you're going to find there to really lift your soul, I think. Lift your soul. Okay, Mississippi. How Mississippi moved from the bottom of the top in student reading achievement scores. From the bottom to the top. Well, that's pretty substantial. You won't find a more literate bunch of fourth graders anywhere in the nation than if you go and stand in a Mississippi elementary school. Over the last few years, the Magnolia State has risen from 49th in the country for fourth grade reading level to number 1 in both reading and math at the fourth grade level after adjusting for poverty and other socioeconomic factors. The state's fourth graders exceeded the national reading average for the first time in 2024, according to the International Business Times. While its fourth graders or eighth graders are ranked in the top 10 for reading and math, and the total educational attainment average across all grades ranks 16th in the country, the highest rank Mississippi has ever received. Proving that method can trump money, the southern state has achieved all this despite being one of the very poorest in the country with some of the lowest percent education budgets. I'll tell you, it's amazing what you can do when you really decide to put, some energy behind it. In a review from the week, the triumph seems to be rooted in 2 strong policy shifts: holding individual schools accountable for student performance and changing how reading is taught in school. Regarding the former, it's something many more affluent states have shied away from, giving schools an A through F grade, just like the school might give its students based on how well they were there performing. Regarding the latter, the key shift is towards mandating a style of literacy education that reflects advancements in the understanding of childhood neurosciences, specifically regarding phonics. The previous and still largely popular literacy instruction method was called balanced literacy. Involves allowing the child the freedom to gravitate toward reading books they're interested in. Mississippi's science of reading method involves pairing reading time with precise and targeted instruction regarding the sounds that letter combinations make in the English language. The science of reading proponents state that without these precise instructions, children may struggle to grasp certain phonics, which in turn slows their reading speed and frustrates them overall in trying to get through and finish books. Additionally, Mississippi educational authorities have made science of reading-based instruction a non-negotiable aspect of curriculum planning and appoint literacy and math coaches to help teachers hone their skills and address challenges related to specific concerns. Man, they are putting their best foot forward, aren't they? I love that. I absolutely love that. Reading is just so important and such a big part of everything in our world. So I'm really grateful to hear that. Okay, divers rescue a tangled ray. Oh, that's wrapped up in fishing line. So Underwater photographers and free divers recently rescued a mobula ray tangled in a rope while being circled by sharks. After swimming away, the injured ray unexpectedly returned, circling the divers in what they described as a thank you moment. The mobula ray was trapped more than 30 feet below the surface, completely wrapped in rope from a shark fisherman's buoy. Mobile, also known as flying rays, devil rays, or eagle rays, are smaller than their cousins, the giant manta rays, and also far more diverse, with around 12 different um, extant species and several extinct ones. Working in shifts, the team carefully cut away the line and freed the distressed animal while documenting the entire rescue off of the Baja California, Mexico. Underwater photographer Andre Smits was part of the Ocean Safari group who spotted the ray and helped with the rescue. We went to one of the shark fishermen's buoys because we didn't find any wildlife to interact with that day. Our guide jumped in to check the line, popped his head up right away, and said, "Guys, I need your help. There's something stuck in the line." The rescue required careful coordination among 7 divers, not helped by the 3 8-foot-long silky sharks circling the action not far from them. Talk about bravery, but they got it done, and I think it's very sweet that that ray came back to circle them, and thank you. Thank you. I love that. All right, and now our hero of the week. This week, our hero is a 12-year-old who saves his mom's life by taking the wheel and calling for help after she passed out driving. That's amazing, right? So this is an inspiring moment. A hero 12-year-old saved his mother's life by grabbing the wheel, then calling for emergency services after she collapsed while driving in the neighboring country of England. Quick thinking, Zach Howells managed to take control of Nicola's car and steer it to safety after she passed out behind the wheel while traveling at 60 miles per hour. The 37-year-old lost consciousness, yet her foot remaining on the accelerator before Zach managed to slow the car down before hitting a barrier. Once the vehicle had stopped on the A40 near Ross of Wyre in Herefordshire, he switched off the engine and used the phone to call emergency services. West Mercia Police also has released an audio file of the call that shows Zach saying completely calm while directing call handlers to their location, even though it was in Wales across the border. Zach can be heard saying, "I'm driving on a motorway and my mom just fainted, so I had to crash the car to stop. Her foot went down on the pedal and it started accelerating so I had to crash into the barrier. I'm really scared." Then, when Nicola regained consciousness, Zach told her, "It's all right, calm down. It's fine, hold my hand." Mommy said, "Breathe. I just drove the car. It's really easy." So Nicola repeatedly apologizes as Zach continues to reassure her, "It's fine. I'm worried about you, not me. I know we're going to be fine." Well, Zach, good job. Not every 12-year-old would think, quickly enough to grab the wheel and, steer the car in a direction that kept everybody much safer. Well, that's our good news for this Friday, January 23rd. 23rd. I'm just learning the English language, so it's all good. And I just want to say, I hope you're back again next week. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Wayne, for joining us again. It's always nice to see you in the room. And, as we're moving forward, don't forget, there's a lot of good in our world. Let us begin to celebrate that. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. This is the New Thought Media Network, and now the good news. I'm Barbara Jean. See you next time.